Coffee dates. Should you be going on coffee dates? Women, ladies, are you accepting coffee dates? Do you prefer coffee dates? If a guy says to you, hey, let's just meet for coffee, I don't want to take you for dinner, do you find that insulting? Is that something that you're not with? Or are you somebody who's sort of converted to the idea that, you know what, I'd rather not waste my time. I'd rather go to a coffee date. That way I can just be out if this guy does not turn out to be anyone I'm interested. That way I don't waste 2 hours, 3 hours sitting in some restaurant with some dude stuck. So you'd prefer to do the coffee thing. Should you be doing that? We're going to get into it on this episode. I talked about this previously on my channel when I was telling the gentlemen not to offer coffee dates to women. That they should traditionally be taking women out because women want to go out. Now I'm hearing from women that a lot of you actually prefer to go on the coffee date. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it on this episode of Marcus Van Horne. I am Marcus Van Horne. I am a date coach, relationship guidance person. I'm not going to say expert, guru, and all that stuff. I'm nobody. I'm just a guy sharing with you my thoughts and sharing things for women to basically navigate the landscape of men. I'm giving you my advice as a man to help you find relationships, connections, love, hookups, whatever it is you're interested in. So if that's you and you're interested in that stuff, hit that subscribe button, stick around for more to come, and we will get into it. Let's do it right now. Okay, so ladies, let me just give it to you straight, all right? Stop accepting coffee dates from men. Now, I know some of you think it's smart. It's casual, it's low pressure, but coffee dates are killing real romance and they're holding you back from the love that you actually deserve. Let me get into it. Let me explain that, right? So the problem with a coffee date, here's the truth. Coffee date is not a date. It's an interview. It's a time slot in his schedule between errands. There's no real effort. There's no romance. There's no atmosphere for connection, right? You're sitting under fluorescent lights in a Starbucks, sipping lattes, making small talk while he checks his watch. That's not courting. That is not convenience. Call me old school. Call me what you want. I talked about this in the other video, the previous video that I did for the gentleman. The actual environment of a date, of a restaurant, of an actual traditional dinner date provides a certain ambiance. It sets something up in advance for you to actually have that kind of connection with someone. The idea of going to a coffee date as an interview, well, I want to make sure she's worth me taking out to spend money on. That alone is an insult. I understand possibly where the financially challenged gentleman sort of makes that case like, hey, I would want to take her out, but I'm not sure yet. So I'll take her to some cheap coffee place, interview her. Again, the key word being an interview. It's an interview. And it's the same thing from the ladies' perspective, right? If you're somebody saying, hey, I'd rather not commit to the full date. I don't want to get dressed up. I don't want to get my hair, nails, and feet and toes and everything done before I know whether or not I really like this guy, so I might as well just go do the coffee thing. That's fine, but still, you're setting the whole tone up for an interview. That's not romance. That's not connection. We are trying to break down the barriers that are holding people back. We are trying to get back to the old school thing where it's like you see somebody, you're attracted to somebody, there's chemistry, there's that je ne sais quoi in the air, something that brings you together. Good conversation, the smell of a woman's perfume, the smell of the man's cologne for you. Ladies, whatever it is you're looking at, that's what we're trying to get back to. And a coffee date simply does not, it just goes against that. It's antithetical to that entire situation. The vibe is wrong for a coffee date when it comes to trying to find romance and love. The vibe matters. Romance requires setting. It requires intention. It requires energy. Chemistry needs a spark, and you're not going to feel sparks over, like burnt coffee and background noise. It's just not going to happen. Now, why do some women defend coffee dates? Again, I mentioned that I've seen comments on my TikTok, some of the social media where women are like, no, I prefer a coffee date. There's nothing wrong with a coffee date. I applaud the women who are looking at that from the perspective of, hey, look, a man doesn't need to spend a lot of money on me. I'm comfortable with that. Also for the people who feel like the casualness is something they prefer. They like casual. They just want to go get ice cream, or they want to go down in Dumbo, get some ice cream from that homemade ice cream place and walk on the promenade or whatever it is, right? They're not into the whole thing of getting dressed up and going to a restaurant. It feels a little too formal for them. I do understand there's a percentage of women who are into that. I get it, right? I totally get it. But if you're defending it from the perspective of, well, I don't want to waste my time with some guy, you are creating a tone of bad energy for yourself before you even gotten into the situation with the guy, right? You've already set it up like that. You've already conditioned yourself to be defensive when it comes to love, romance, connections, human connection with another person, with a man. You are essentially saying, I've been on enough bad dates or I've had enough bad experiences where I don't want more. So what I'm going to do is interview this guy to see if he's worthy of my attention and time and worthy of me getting all done up and putting on jeans and a push-up bra and getting my hair and nails did. So I'm going to go do the coffee thing first because it's easy to bounce on the brother if I'm not feeling him. I feel you. I understand, again, the logic on this. But just roll with me for a second. This is not the way you want to approach romance. This is not the way you want to approach love. And the real trick here, and I say this all the time, I preach this consistently, is communication. It's communication. You need to be able to communicate with a guy long before you have any type of setup for any kind of physical meeting in person. You should be vetting this man from the moment. So if you connected through your DMs somehow, or you connected through a dating app, whatever one you're using, you connected with this man. At some point, you're exchanging phone numbers. I mean, you're probably going through messages first. There are multiple. I could probably do another whole video on just how to analyze, how to read the way people text each other back and forth, how they hit you in your DMs. What are they communicating by the language they use? How do they write? How do they express themselves as a man to you, right? I could go through a whole different chapter on that. But right now, what's critical is understanding that that thing needs to happen. You guys need to somehow communicate. And you're going to feel that kind of connection with somebody once you have that communication. Then you're probably going to have a phone call. People talk. And if you're not talking, we need to get back to the point where people talk. This idea that we should send short text messages and that's it. I don't have time to say, like, that's ridiculous. We've got to get back to communicating with one another. Otherwise, this is just going to continue to go down, 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 and people are not going to connect. We need to get back to some old school shit. I'm just keeping it real with you. Have a phone call with the gentleman that you're interested in. Find out what he sounds like. Find out if he interests you. Is he ringing your bell in your head mentally? Do you feel that connection? Because by the end of that call, you should or shouldn't. And if you do, the next step should be the date. That's the next step. The interview is technically that phone call. Maybe it's a video call. Maybe it's a FaceTime call. So you know you're not getting catfish. And you know that the brother who says he's 6'5" and looks a certain way is actually the person you're talking to on the phone. Do the FaceTime call. Feel each other out. I've had so many dates back in the day when I was single where I met somebody, had a conversation, we were on the phone till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning talking. That vibe was established. It was there. We had great communication. We could feel one another. Music, movies, literature, education, our background, our aspirations, our dreams, certain things we believed in, certain things we didn't believe in, the way we viewed just anything, comedy, and those connections, those things happen through good conversation. It happens through good conversation. That connection was made before I even asked a woman on a date. I knew what she was like. And I've had the opposite happen. I've had phone calls with people that I was interested in, that I met, that were physically attractive when I met them. And then I had a conversation with them and it just kind of went the wrong way. And I knew it was going to be a waste of time to take this young woman out. So it just didn't go anywhere. You need to communicate. Now, the case for traditional dates, dinner, a proper evening out, even a walk followed by dessert are different. Why? Because they create space for connection. Think about it. A nice dinner forces both of you to slow down and be present. There's atmosphere, the lighting, the setting, the energy, all designed to spark chemistry. There's effort. A man investing time and money into creating an experience shows intention. It's not about how much money he spends. It's the fact that he put something together and said, I want to take a woman out. I value a woman, a young lady, enough that I'm interested in. I value her enough. I want to go out with her. I want to sit down and have a great conversation and a great meal in an environment that's conducive to making those connections. And don't confuse this with being materialistic. It's not about how expensive the restaurant is. It's about the effort. A man who says, let me take you somewhere nice, let's have an evening together, is signaling to you, I want to get to know you and I value this experience. That, my friends, that, ladies, is called romance. That's courtship. That's how you know he's serious. Now, why do standards matter? Do we even care about standards nowadays? I'm confused. When you accept coffee dates, you basically lower the bar. You teach men that the bare minimum is enough, that showing up with 10 minutes to spare and a cappuccino in hand counts as a date. But when you hold the standard of real dates, you weed out the men who are lazy, non-committal, and just looking to pass time. The right man won't run from that standard. He will rise to meet it. Because deep down, men know that romance matters. Real men know this. Ladies, take this note. Real men know this. At the end of the day, any real man is going to know that romance is going to make a difference. It is the key to a woman's heart. And ladies, you're not asking for too much, right? You're asking for what dating was always meant to be: connection, effort, and the possibility of love, or even a hookup or something, whatever. Look, here's my advice. Stop defending coffee dates. They're not protecting you. They're keeping you from experiencing real romance. Be open to love. Be open to the possibility that the date might go well. Set the standard for real connection and watch how the right men step up. Remember, chemistry doesn't grow in convenience. It grows in effort, atmosphere, and romance. And if you want love, you need to start demanding more of all three. Period. This is we have to make a conscious effort, a conscious decision to put in effort to do so. This is how men think. I'm just letting y'all know. That's what I'm doing. I am essentially putting women onto the game. When we really want a woman, I'll give you a quick example. If a man were to meet some Halle Berry type or whatever, take your pick, right? Somebody who's universally accepted as kind of like a goddess of beauty, whatever it is, physically, right? If a man meets that woman and he's got an opportunity to talk to her, the chances that he's going to take her to a coffee shop for a date is slim to none. He's probably going to go all out and be like, yo, he's probably going to tell his boys. He's probably going to tell people like, yo, I met this woman, blah, 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 whatever. You're not going to believe this, blah, 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 whatever. And he's going to wind up putting in the effort. He's going to get dressed. He's going to smell good. And he's going to want to take that woman out. Period. That's not simping. That's not being desperate. That's not being thirsty. That's a man saying, this woman is something else. I'm attracted to her. And maybe it was her smile. Maybe it was a quick conversation he had with her, but he's going to put in the effort to want to take her out and romance her. That's what men do. That's what I did when I met my wife. When I met my wife, I was floored when I saw her. We spoke for maybe a few weeks. I asked her on the first date. We went out. The rest is history. Romance, traditional romance. I didn't need to interview her. Ladies, set your standards up here. Do not worry about anything else. Set your standards up here and start going on regular dates. That's it. MarcusVanHorne, MVH Dating. Follow me, subscribe if you want more guidance like this for me to help you ladies out when it comes to understanding the mind of men and trying to navigate this crazy landscape and navigate how men think and helping you find relationships, love, connections, and just being who you need to be. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you're a coffee date person, you're not a coffee date person. Let me know why. I could take it, put in the comments, like the video. We are growing the channel. I am loving the direction that I'm going with this all. I am starting a whole new thing and I look forward to having you on the ride. So I'll see you on the next one. Peace.